I would always find myself like doodling and doing little things or kind of reading some stuff or get into trouble quite a few times. Hi, my name is Shaunak Roy. I'm the founder and CEO of Yellowdig. We are based out of Philadelphia, and we have been in business for about 5 years now. Yellowdig is a technology platform that makes learning engaging and fun. So we all have been in those classes where we have been sitting in these big lecture halls and listening to the sage on the stage, professor, but really cannot ask the questions or engage in discussions that we would want to do. Imagine you are in a finance class and you want to talk about Bitcoin. Or imagine you are in a health science class and you want to talk about the new innovation that's happening in, let's say, cancer research. Where do you do that? Discussion boards? They are not for discussions, they're most for assignments. Yellowdig makes all that happen. Yellowdig makes learning more engaging, more fun, more peer-driven, so that whatever topic you're learning it together with your classmates, with your community. One problem I always noticed is being in a classroom. Even though I was excited about learning and I thought that I could always kind of come up with these new ideas, but I never enjoyed truly being in a classroom for hours in a time and try to kind of engage myself. I would always find myself like doodling and doing little things or kind of reading some stuff or get into trouble quite a few times. There got to be a better way. There got to be a better way to really make sure that that learning time, which is where students are spending thousands and thousands of hours in their life in these classrooms, can be better utilized. Eventually, what I convinced a few professors who decided to actually use the platform in their courses. That was how it all started. We had a few courses, giving it a try, and really trying out the concept of building a community in the classroom. What we found at that time was that even though the platform wasn't quite evolved that it is today, but we started to see the value of student-to-student interaction, the value of students being able to bring in a variety of insights into the classroom which were not in the syllabus, which was something that was happening in the real world in that week, an article they may have read in Wall Street Journal and they found very interesting and they wanted to talk about it. So they came to Yellowdig to post that article and write something about it, their point of view. Nobody asked for it, they just shared their point of view. And we could see that other students were finding it interesting enough to comment on it, or interesting enough to share a related resource, maybe a video they found somewhere else, and discuss with one another. So I started to see the magic that was happening in Yellowdig that traditionally did not happen when I was sitting in those classrooms. What got me going was those interactions, those kind of magic that started happening, and I could see that if I put the time and if I can build a team around it who are equally dedicated to this kind of a mission, we could build something amazing. And that's how it all started. When we started Yellowdig, it was started with a few business management courses. Naturally, if you're thinking of sitting in a business class, discussion is part of the learning design. But over time, we have seen that the technology has been adopted by courses which are not traditionally discussion-based. Like, we have use cases in algebra courses or STEM courses, or courses where traditionally students will just sit there, solve problems, get their grade, and move on. But with Yellowdig, what happens is that students are finding resources that other students might find helpful and sharing with one another. Imagine you're in a engineering class, studying mechanical engineering, which is what I did, and you find this amazing problem that you're trying to solve on your own, burning midnight oil, and you find this amazing solution. Where do you share that? You want to share that with your classmates. That's where Yellowdig comes into play. So what started as mostly a solution for business management courses, now we have adoption across the board. We pretty much have usage in every course area at that point, starting from undergraduate, graduate, to postgraduate, to even lifelong learning courses. One of the problems that I felt that I had that time, and I do think that a lot of students have, is really connecting with what they're learning in those classrooms with the world that they're living in. You know, we are living in an era where everything is changing almost on a day-to-day basis. The news articles that we are reading in popular news journals to what we are experiencing in the real world is so dynamic. Almost sitting in a classroom and learning something, and if it doesn't connect with what we are seeing in the real world, is disengaging. Students might feel that, why am I even spending the time to do this where I'm not guaranteed to do this job for the next 10 years once I graduate or once I finish my certification? This is a problem that I felt myself, which is part of the reason I also felt disengaged, is something that we can solve. Imagine your best teacher, right? Imagine who is your best teacher. The teacher was always engaged. They were always trying to do things or activities or create a project where people can get together or really engaging in ways that kind of felt special. And that's how we get connected to our best teachers. And I felt connected. And I have taken those classes as well. But we also know that how difficult it is to do that. Like, you have to spend a lot of time as a teacher to prepare, come to the classroom, change your curriculum, change your assessment techniques, and finally see the results. It cannot be done across the board. But with technology, things can be different. What is different today is technology and internet. We can disrupt the entire model because now we have technology to connect people at any time with anybody with any type of resources. And that is where what I call is learning in the moment, which is if you have a question or an idea, or if you're driving by, let's say, interstate, and you see a big board talking about something and you kind of really get an idea, or you go to a museum, you see an art piece and you really want to talk about it, or you think about it, you don't have to wait till you go to the classroom and talk about it. You can take a picture right in there and type up what you are thinking in that moment and share with your network. Network could be a classroom, it could be a community, it could be part of any other organization you're part of. This is, I think, is the biggest opportunity that internet and technology has opened up. And the reason it's a big opportunity is because the learners are already using technologies which can make this happen, right? You don't have to create a new set of devices. We have our smartphones in our hand. We can share whatever we share in that moment with our classmates, get feedback, and actually progress our learning. You can learn at any moment and you don't have to wait for a certain time or a certain space to actually learn. It took, what I would say that it took a lot of persistence, the fact that, just to give you some ideas, that when we started, we got a lot of feedback, and a lot of the feedback was related to the product. There were a lot of bugs in the product. Nobody wanted to use it. All sorts of issues. The integrations won't work well. The UI was not slick enough compared to social media or what people are getting used to, and we have all these problems. But what happened was we started to see a few users who were excited about the platform, and we tried to build a relationship with those few users. We started to say that, okay, can we just focus on a few people, make them happy with the product, and then start to build around it so that those people become more of a champion and can tell their friends about the product. And then slowly we started to kind of build features and functionality around it so that more and more people are becoming fans of the product. And that's how we did it. And over time, the product that we started with is now completely transformed, if you look at 4 years down the line or 5 years down the line, to a completely new product. But it all started with a small group of users who kind of really believed in what we are doing. The future of Yellowdig is, to an extent, based on this mission that we have, which is making learning more engaging and fun. Our vision is to make Yellowdig available in every classroom and learning environment in the next 5 years. We have a big goal, but I think we have this opportunity now to kind of make our product available so that it can have a real impact. What I would like to say is that plunge in, create your app, create your company, reach out to us, and if you need help, always reach out to us, or if you want to partner with us, definitely reach out to us. We'll see where we can take this.